Well, welcome back. This is Mark with Dropping Floats. Just doing an update on the Larch Creek fire. I'm up here near Pine Hollow Reservoir, near the fire, kind of right in the flight path of all the aircraft that are fighting the fire, a couple helicopters, and I've seen one water plane. It is getting very serious for Pine Hollow. The fire is pretty much in between where I am at. The fire is that direction, and then Pine Hollow is back over behind my shoulder here. Here's a helicopter flying up overhead. That is one of the bigger ones. As it comes into frame. Of course, that sun's not doing us any favors. There it is. But the fire is straight out in front of me there, where all that smoke is coming up. The one good thing is there is a lot of green pastures and a lot of irrigation going. There is Pine Hollow Reservoir and what gets into the town of Pine Hollow. This is the very outer edge of it. The other side of that tree line and the reservoir is the golf course, and then into the town of Pine Hollow, and then Womack is about in that direction there. So it is very close to both these towns. Here comes helicopter right overhead. He is going to go scoop into Pine Hollow Reservoir and get some water, and then make the short flight back over the hill here and dump it onto the fire. That is a big helicopter. It definitely probably won't look big on the GoPro video, but that is a beast. And there are the water planes. Kind of have to point the camera into the sun there. They're flying low. And they're heading to the fire. And then again, that direction right there is where the fire is at, that heavy smoke. And it came from this direction down from Ty Valley, straight out in front of me here. Well, there he goes. He is filled up his little basket. That didn't take very long. And he is heading back to the fire. And there is another helicopter that's a little ways off. I think he got some water out of a little pond, I think is what he did. That one isn't quite as big, but that is still a good-sized aircraft. And he heads back to the fire. It's pretty much a non-stop. I think I read on the evacuation information and daily updates, they had 6 helicopters on the fire and 2 planes and a whole slew of ground support crews. That's a different one yet. Let's see where he heads. It's like he's going to go into Pine Hollow as well. I know they had closed Pine Hollow Because of this, you can't be out on a boat or anything right now until the fire is taken care of. The wind is starting to pick up, which is not definitely a good thing. Let's see if there's any action in the air over here. No, nothing yet. Here comes in another Chinook, it looks like. Made their dump. Now they're heading back to refill. And this has been a constant all day since they've been able to fly. It's been a constant planes going, going, going. There he comes in to suck some water up. And all this commotion about right out in the middle of that field, there's a deer just chilling, eating grass. All this crazy commotion, wildfire, humans all over the place. There's the deer just chilling and eating. Kind of funny. Well, there he goes. He's refilled his bucket, heading back to the fire. So I'm going to go ahead and move from my kind of vantage point here and might head down a little more into Ty Valley near Shady Brook. Obviously going to try not to get in the way of the efforts, but see if we can't get some other footage from a different angle down below. Okay, I'm heading back to Ty Valley. That big plume of smoke on the hillside is Ty Ridge. That is where Highway 197 is. The canyon there is on fire, and it looks like it's starting to build up again. I drove up there earlier, and there was definitely a lot of smoldering smoke. There was one crew kind of monitoring what was going on, but there was no active firefighting. It might be too tight to get the planes in there, or they were just waiting to see what comes of the fire in the canyon. Okay, I just pulled off on the side of the road on the Womack grade, the road coming up from Ty Valley to Womack. There's where the head of the fire is up there, and this is kind of where it's already burnt through. It's going to be hard to see on the GoPro. That far canyon, those far hills are all burnt. They're all black and burnt. 197's kind of dead center in the frame, and look at the fire starting to get going again up in there. And then way off to my right over here, up on that hillside, there's some pretty big new plumes of smoke where it's looking like it might get going again briefly, but everything is burnt over there, so there's not really somewhere for it to go unless it comes down the hill. And then that's where the crews can actually fight the fire. Up on those big steep hills, they really can't do much. But again, here's the shot looking up towards Pine Hollow from Womack grade, and where those big dark smoky plumes are. That's where it's at. That's kind of Shady Brook Road is kind of right down in there and goes up into that canyon. Pretty devastating. Got very, very close to Ty Valley. Okay, I'm heading up Ty grade. It's very burnt on both sides. Here's a shot from out the window. You can see some of the carnage there. And then out on this side, you can see how burnt it is. As I drive up the canyon, I'm going to get up on top here and get a little closer to where it's looking like it's going to pick up. The wind is starting to get pretty strong, as it always does in the late evening, afternoon hours out here. So there's pretty much two fire fronts now, because this fire I'm coming up on could walk right up this canyon and get up on the flat. It doesn't really have that far to go before it would be up on top. Unfortunately, up on the canyon walls, there's not a ton of fuel for it to climb up the walls of the canyon, but it could just keep going straight and go straight up onto the flat. If it's looking like that's what it's doing. It's gonna walk right on up. This is really, I drove up here earlier and this wasn't near this bad. There's good fuel down there and they can just gradually burn right up, follow the road, right up onto the, up on top. Definitely not great having two fronts. That just splits your resources and is never a good thing. Another shot of it there as I drive by. Very thick smoke, very steep canyon. We're just about to get to the top of Thai grade. I'm gonna merge over here, give these guys room. It looks like they're getting ready to maybe make an assault here. There was a crew up here earlier. It looks like they were just monitoring. And those guys have definitely been out working. They're filthy. Might have been a hot shot crew or something down that they sent down in there. Here's a good spot for me to pull over and maybe get a better shot. You can't get the greatest shots with this GoPro, but I'm making do with what I got. All right, sometimes you just gotta do that. So let's get out of the truck here. Let's see. There goes a fire rig. See a lot of them driving around. Well, hopefully you heard the stuff I said in the truck because I just realized my mic wasn't on. So that's good. I recently bought a mic to improve the audio on my videos. And it's going to be another thing to get used to. Turning on and off and keeping charged and all that jazz. So there I'm ahead of it, of the fire that's moving up Thai Ridge. It definitely looks very smoldery. I don't really see any flames to speak of. Right over on that ridge line, it looks like there's a hot shot crew working their way down. If I hold the camera still, you can probably see them. There'll be little dots that are moving. Those are all firefighters. There is a light breeze. It's nothing major, not near as bad as it can get around here. But this is what I was talking about in the truck that you probably couldn't hear. There's not a lot of fuel up on the sides of the canyon, but it could just walk right up this and then up onto the flat, and that would be really bad. Because then there's a lot of, it could spread very quickly up there, a lot of grass. Oh, I just heard a pop, probably a tree. And there goes another fire unit driving around. These have been the first guys I've seen out fighting the fire. Of course, I don't get too terribly close up near Shady Brook because it gets kind of tight up in there, road-wise, so I stay away from that. What a bummer. What a bummer. All right. Here comes a whole fleet of fire rigs up 197. Let's get a shot of them. I've seen a ton of rigs driving up and down, I think it's because the fire is getting so large that they're having to shuttle resources from one end of it to the other. To get to the other end, you go up this road and take Doofer Gap Road, and then you can kind of wind around and get to the other side of it. Cause it's kind of like a big dog leg. It's kind of the shape of the fire. All right, well, I'm gonna move on back down towards Ty Valley, and I might head up towards Shady Brook. Here I pulled off on a section of Ty Ridge where it's getting going, and to get over and get a quick shot. You can hear it popping and crackling down in that canyon. It's definitely hot down in there. This is down lower from where I was just at on the previous ridge shot. I was up that direction now, and this is starting to creep up towards the road, but there's really nowhere for it to go. That side of the road's already burnt, so it's just going to be these little grasses down here. Just hopefully this doesn't pick up steam and move up in that direction up onto the flat. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully it's kind of corralled here and dies here. Well, okay, heading back to Maupin. Not a lot I can do. The crews are out and in place. Just an update, the last fire update we got was the Larch Creek fire was getting close to 14,000 acres, and it was at 0% containment. And from what I can see from my little surveying I've done, there's about 4 different fronts that they're fighting, or possible fires. Sorry, I had to slow down for a little baby fawn trying to cross the road. Anyways, back to what I was saying. There's a solid 3 fronts that are trying to fight this fire on. It's a very stretched out and like a dog leg type of a shape. But it's that last update was 0% contained and knocking on the door of 14,000 acres burnt. So, like always, you know, this is Mark with Dropping Floats. Like and subscribe if you'd like to get more fire updates. I'm doing videos throughout the day as I have time to try to keep people updated and get them, you know, on the ground footage. I'm a real life person that lives here, not just from a nameless, faceless news organization. So look for another video tomorrow, and I'll keep you guys updated as best I can.